Hello and welcome to Rogers TV Community News. I'm Carla Fitzsimmons. Brazen gun violence has plagued Waterloo Region this past week. Police are investigating multiple incidents, beginning with an early Sunday morning shooting at a busy Waterloo intersection.
At approximately, it was 2 a.m., our police service received a number of reports of gunfire in the area of Bridgeport, Weber Street in Waterloo. The report was that these shots happened between a number of vehicles, and so our police officers attended that area, conducted an investigation, and they're still continuing the investigation. We've moved that investigation over to our General Investigation Unit because we were able to confirm that there were a number of shots fired between a number of vehicles in that area at that time. We confirmed that there were 51 shots fired in that intersection through forensic identification and stuff like that. So we think that there's witnesses that are not only in both of those vehicles that were involved, but there were a couple of light-colored vehicles that were in and around those vehicles that with that volley of gunfire would have seen or heard something. Maybe they heard a conversation or an argument between the two vehicles. We don't know, but we would like to hear from those people involved. Businesses are in and around that area too. We've obviously conducted a very thorough canvass, and so we're looking for people that maybe even were in and around that area that have like cameras in their car, dash cameras that might have caught the vehicles where they drove after that incident. So that's what we're appealing for the public. We believe that there was at least one person injured. There could have been more. I can also say that there were a number of other people that we think they were in that vehicle as well.
And now to a shooting investigation in Cambridge, where police have released video that clearly captures the incident.
On November 18th, it was in the early morning hours, I believe around 2 a.m., we received reports of gunfire in and around Arthur Fash in Cambridge. The report was that there were a number of gunshots sent towards a residence, and so members of patrol attended that area and confirmed that there was a residence that was hit with a number of bullets. And we've released some video that shows a vehicle approaching the residence and a number of shots being fired. So we would look to see if there's other residents in the area that have door cameras. Like I said, at that time, there are cars driving in and around that area that might have dash camera of a vehicle leaving that area, a dark-colored vehicle. Also, we're looking for anybody that might have been walking in and around that area. They could have been walking their dog, for that matter, and would have seen something. So we're appealing for members of the public to come forward with that. And you can probably tell from the video, there were multiple shots fired. I mean, it's concerning to our police service and that residents in that area. But I can say that we believe it's targeted, and so part of the investigation is finding out the motive for why that took place.
Still in Cambridge, 5 suspects have been arrested and handguns have been seized during a robbery at the Cambridge Centre Mall.
Our patrol officers attended that area, and as they were doing so, they basically intercepted the suspects who were committing a robbery right at the time. And so the suspects had armed themselves with sledgehammers and actually firearms as well when they were conducting this robbery. And that's something a little bit different from the past. Like, we've had those before, but we've typically had suspects committing these crimes that they're using sledgehammers and instruments to break into the jewelry store. But in this case, they had firearms. And so our officers intercepted them, and they were subsequently arrested after a short foot pursuit.
To Brantford, where police there are investigating a case of arson and have obtained images from CCTV footage. The incident happened on November 17th at approximately 4 a.m. Police received reports of an active fire at a residence on Darling Street near Drummond Street. The occupants of the home were able to get out safely. Police are hoping that the public can identify the suspect. The suspect is described as white with shoulder-length hair, glasses, and was wearing a black jacket with a fur-lined trimmed hood, checkered colored pajama pants, a winter hat, and dark shoes. Anyone with information is asked to call Brantford Police or Brantford Crime Stoppers. The Honda CR-V tops the list of stolen vehicles in Ontario in 2024. Equite Association released a report showing that the SUV is a high theft vehicle. Overall in Canada, the Toyota RAV4 is the top stolen vehicle in 2024. The association notes newer model SUVs with keyless security vulnerabilities remain prime targets for sophisticated criminal networks nationally. Waterloo Regional Council has approved Phase 2 of the LRT expansion into Cambridge. It will be years in the making. This approval means planning will now begin for the construction of the 17-kilometer tracks connecting Cambridge to Kitchener. The price of construction to build between Fairway Station and downtown Cambridge could be $3.1 billion in 2025, rising to $4.3 billion by 2033. Regional staff are working behind the scenes to secure provincial and federal dollars to fund the project. A controversial bill that gives the Ontario government more control over school boards passed a final vote at Queen's Park on Wednesday. Educators, teachers, unions, and parents voiced their disapproval at Queen's Park leading up to the final vote.
We need to remember that this is a democratic society. We live in a democratic province. We don't live in the States. And, you know, I don't recall Doug Ford running on an election saying that he was going to do anything with education, you know, and so why is this happening now? Why is he trying to become a little lord in Ontario?
The ayes being 74, the nays being 40, I declare the motion carried.
The bill was fast-tracked, skipping public debates and hearings.
We knew it was coming. We knew that it would pass, and I think the critical part is that we need to continue to keep this on people's minds and in the discussion to see how things roll out.
Bill 33, the Supporting Children and Students Act, gives Education Minister Paul Calandra the power to override school board decisions, remove trustees, as well as establish policies and guidelines.
The authorities now, thankfully, with Bill 33 would allow me to step into a situation like we're seeing in Parry Sound, where students are in a half-demolished school. How is that better for students? When a board falls apart and the minister doesn't have the ability to step in and put it back on track.
This bill comes after some high-profile school board scandals involving questionable spending. You'll remember Brant Haldeman Norfolk Catholic District School Board spent nearly $190,000 on a trip to Italy to purchase art. The government says this incident, as well as others in other school boards, are evidence of misuse of taxpayer money. Bill 33 will also be bringing back police officers into schools.
No matter where you stand on that issue, you know, for me, it's not about that. But in Waterloo Region, we had back in 2021 and 2022 discussions about police in schools and what that was going to look like. And the decision was made through consultation to not have police in schools anymore. And then we moved right to a municipal election. And many of those same trustees who voted to support it were reelected. And that was one of the critical issues in that municipal campaign for trustees. And the citizens of Waterloo Region decided, no, that is valuable. And now all of a sudden, the provincial government who disagrees with that has come in and said, no, police must be in schools. And so really the voices of Waterloo Region have been disregarded by this government. And we're worried about what is next.
Winter weather arrived ahead of schedule in parts of southwestern Ontario. CAA South Central Ontario, the Ministry of Transportation, and the OPP are offering tips on how to stay safe this winter season.
You don't need to have snow on the ground to get a set of 4 matching winter tires. Winter tires actually do a lot more than just help you manage in the snow. They help you deal with black ice, with the slush, with the rain, and with the colder temperatures. Conventional all-season tires, they really don't have the same kind of flexibility and grip on the cold road like winter tires do. And that's because they have a compound silica that just allows them to grip onto the road a lot better. And they're just more malleable versus that rigid kind of rubber that we have in the all seasons. Anybody who's driven with winter winter tires will tell you there is greater traction, control, and stability when you have your winter tires on. And then in wintertime, that can make all the difference. You know, you can reduce your braking distances by up to 25% or 2 car lengths. So when you're trying to do a quick stop, an emergency brake, or something like that, that can make all the difference. We generally like to say 7 for 7. So that is 7 days of 7 degrees or lower consistently. So really now is the appropriate time to get your winter tires on. Well, there really is a difference between a summer emergency kit and a winter emergency kit, and that comes down to keeping you safe and warm. So yes, it'll have the same things like perhaps a fuel funnel, or it'll have some flares in it, or it'll have jumper cables. Those are pretty standard when you get an emergency kit, but other things that it'll have is like a collapsible shovel, or perhaps a blanket, some tea lights, some waterproof matches. Those things will be inside of a winter car kit. And we say, don't stop there. Add a few extra things like an extra pair of mittens, socks, a toque. Those things tend to get wet when you are out in the snow. So even an extra scarf, a blanket in the back seat of your car. It sounds like a lot, but it can be quite compact. We talk a lot about car batteries. Car batteries really do take a beating during the summer months. That extreme heat flux we deal with is not very kind to car batteries. We see a lot of them failing in the winter months. So while you're getting your winter tires on, ask your mechanic to also check the life of your battery. Will it last? You know, the average car battery only lasts about 3 to 5 years. So if you don't remember the last time you've checked your car battery, it's probably, at the very least, the best thing you can do is to check it. It's time to get it checked.
The Memorial Cup is coming to the Royal City. The city of Guelph will play host in 2027. It last hosted in 2002, and the Guelph Storm last played in 2019. The Kitchener Rangers were also in contention for the tournament. Bringing hope to the region this holiday season, Family and Children's Services Foundation has launched its Tree of Hope campaign.
Well, it is one of our largest fundraisers of the year, and we're so thrilled to, again, this is the 32nd year actually that we've been partnering with Rogers as a whole to run our Tree of Hope campaign. And it is a community-wide 50-50 with a chance to win, well, as much as the pot will get to, but right now it's a guaranteed pot of $50,000.
That's amazing.
A chance to win some money for your own pocket and a chance to help a lot of children, youth, and families in our community.
The raffle is important every year. This is the biggest fundraiser for the foundation. You know, the foundation is fully supported on helping some of the most vulnerable families in our community, and you know, we all know that it's challenging times. Needs are growing in the community, and so we really need, you know, for this raffle this year to be a success. You know, we're hoping to raise a minimum of $400,000 that we will be fully putting back into the community, and so we're really counting on community support this year.
So we do have 3 radio partners, 570, the Country 106.7, and Chime. So you can go to any of their websites, and there's a direct link. You can go to 5050treeofhope.com, or you can go to Facts Foundation website. Any of those websites will take you directly to the link to buy tickets. We have some amazing early bird draws that will happen every Friday morning. So if you go on the website and you're really interested in any of those, make sure you get your tickets before those early bird draws. And then the big draw is the morning of December 18th. So you need to have your tickets before 7:45 the morning of December 18th.
The early bird draws are all really awesome. We've been really lucky to get some great early bird prizes. So, you know, for people who have interest in hockey, we have Rangers ticket packages. We've got some concert series packages. Lots of great prizes for people to win. And again, like such a great way to give back to the community.
It's almost like a scene out of a Hallmark movie. Explore Waterloo Region's award-winning Mistletoe Trail is back. With 7 whimsical artist-created mistletoes found in 7 municipalities with festive photo ops waiting to be discovered. There's a unique story that goes with each mistletoe. Local businesses are offering mistletoe-inspired treats, experiences, and surprises along the way. Thanks for watching this edition of Rogers TV Community News. I'm Carla Fitzsimmons. Enjoy your weekend, and I'll see you again on Monday.